Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. It's Friday night, and boy, we all know what that means. That's right. It's time once again for everybody's favorite raging internet dumpster fire we like to call GainerWorld Live. My name is Tim Gainer. Thank you so much for joining me. I certainly do appreciate it. As we do this every single Friday night, long about this time, we just get together and we talk to each other, and we tell stories, and we do silly little things like that, and just kind of hang out. We've been doing this for about, I don't know, almost 2 years, almost 3 years now, as a matter of fact. And the premise has never changed. We sit around and we talk, we let our hair down for about an hour and just talk about things that are going on in the news and discuss things in kind of a lighthearted way and just make sure that everybody's okay. Because in this day and age, we kind of all need to check it out and, just make sure that, things are okay. Things are okay. Like Amy City Games, for example, one of our regular contributors to the show. He says, if we have hair, well, I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Otherwise, we let the breeze blow across our bald heads. Well, and say it loud, say it proud, Amy City. There's nothing wrong with that at all. There really isn't. But be that as it may, we appreciate you stopping in. And as you can tell, if you're new to our little soiree, first off, welcome. We welcome you with open arms. And secondly, you can do like what Amy City did, just right there, right now. You see what he's doing. He's talking to me. He's talking to me right here. He's doing it. Yeah. Now, if you're watching this live, you may think, wait a minute, that's the chat. I got this way over here. Oh, no. We got it right there. And you can be right there. All you got to do is just come on in. We appreciate hearing from you. Let us know where you're from. If you're new, that's okay. We won't insult your intelligence too much. Then again, you're watching this show. So it's been an interesting week. I was off for a week. Basically, not gonna lie, I needed a mental health day. I'm not gonna lie to you, fellow YouTuber. It's been, the last couple of weeks have been really, really crazy. If you have been keeping up with anything at all, you know that, over at, my, major project of the time, of the day, as it were. Of course, I'm talking about Hugs 24/7 Radio. The home of the unsigned artist. Go check them out, hugswrgg.com. We've been doing something over there called October Madness. And what that is mainly, what that is mainly is we, through an independent tabulation, take 128 songs, just like October Madness, just like your regular October Madness or March Madness or whatever the case may be. And we put them up against each other, and we have the listener vote for them. And this week, I'm happy to say, is it's the final pairing. It is the final pairing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. My occasional guest co-host, Chris King, has popped in to say, you can just say about your hair, Tim, what weaves don't count. And tell Shaniqua I said, what's up? Stop. Yeah. Shaniqua say you owe her. Baby mama say she owe you. You owe her. Kids want to know what daddy is. Just saying. Why y'all hating because I'm letting my hair grow? I don't understand. But yeah, as you can tell, like I said, if you're new here, it's a good thing. You can join Amu City and Chris King right here. You can do it. It's really true. All you got to do is just tap away on your little keyboard. Don't look over there. There's nothing going on over there. This is where it's happening, right here. This is right here is where it's happening. And if you're watching the replay, don't even worry about that because it's not there. So, been a long week, and like I said, took a week off because I needed a mental health thing. Not gonna lie to you, things are getting a little crazy, and I come back and things are, well, let's face it, they're just as crazy. So, I guess we should just kind of get into it, and we'll do that with our favorite segment that we have every other week at about this time. You know it, you love it. That's right, it's the Deadpool. Let's go for it. The whole thing started off kind of a quiet week, and yes, I know last week was crazy. I'll mention them very quickly. Yes, we are aware of the fact that Miss Thigh Master, Suzanne Summers, passed away along with Tom Buck. And of course, we're very sorry for that. And if you had them on your Deadpool cards, you may need to update those. But this week started off on Monday, when the Hollywood Reporter announced that actress Elizabeth Hoffman died at the age of 97. Now, you may not know that name, but yes, you do know that face, because she was best known for her role as Miss Mason on Little House on the Prairie. Yeah, you remember that. You remember that name. Her death was reportedly passed on by her son, who clarified she actually passed away back on August 21st. Okay. Well, okay, nothing like a little procrastination there. But her son said she passed away during the summer in a Malibu home of natural causes. She's known for her role in Little House on the Prairie, but also, you might remember this one, she was also Catherine Langford. Remember Stargate SG-1? Yeah, which wasn't a bad show. I mean, it wasn't, wasn't the greatest in the world, but, as sci-fis go, it was okay. She also had some films under her belt, including Roger Donaldson's Dante's Peak and The Wild River, directed by Curtis Hanson. So, one of the Little House of the Prairie people, gone. At the age of 97, Elizabeth Hoffman passed away, apparently several months ago. And we're just now getting the word of it from her son, who doesn't realize we need this information if we're going to keep the Deadpool current, okay? Let's get it together here, people. Come on. Then on Tuesday, yes, on Tuesday, it happened. Richard Roundtree. That's right, Mr. Blaxploitation. John Shaft. Nobody helped him but his woman. John Shaft. In fact, here, let me get back to live camera for just a second. Here's something you can all join in. And in fact, I'll take the I'll even take the lead on this. And I know you're gonna answer me when I say this too. They say this cat Shaft is a bad mother, but I'm talking about Shaft. Don't lie. If you didn't say it out loud, you said it in your head. Richard Roundtree. John Shaft. The star of the blaxploitation film from Gordon Parks' 1971 action thriller, according to Variety, passed away on Tuesday after a short battle with pancreatic cancer at the age of 81. His death being confirmed by Patrick McGinn, his manager since 1987. There's not a lot that you can't say about Richard Roundtree. He was... Chris King said, I didn't say it out loud nor in my head, colonizer. Yes, you did. You're lying. McGinn said in his statement, quote, Richard's working career served as a turning point for African-American leading men in film. The impact he had on the industry cannot be overstated. And boy, that is certainly true. He secured Shaft. Now try this for a marketing strategy, if you will. When MGM signed to do the movie in 1971, Gordon Parks directing, there was a production budget of this for $500,000. The movie made $12 million. It actually pulled the studio out of bankruptcy. Yeah. And of course, we all know what, if you were around during the time, and even if you weren't, you need to know this because Shaft was the first ever, and I won't say that's what it was made for. And even Roundtree has said in many an interview that it wasn't about blaxploitation, because he thought nobody was being exploited. It was just about, a black detective, which is, but it set the tone for the 70s. You came up after this with so many blaxploitation films. I mean, Superfly, Sweet Sweet Badass Song, anything that Jane Kennedy was in. This was the movie that really broke through the whole thing. This is the one that really made it. And of course, MGM is going, well, yeah, we got to make some sequels to this one. So of course they made a couple. There was Shaft's Big Score, and of course my favorite, Shaft in Africa. And does anybody remember, if anybody was around at the time in 73 when CBS attempted the Shaft TV series with Richard Roundtree? Yeah, that didn't last very long. But obviously, he went beyond that. Of course, he moved on after this, after that particular series. Of course, he was in other movies as well, Earthquake. He worked with Peter O'Toole in Man Friday. He was in Q, The Winged Serpent. He popped in a lot of TV performances, Roots, Magnum P.I., The Love Boat. And he also, back in 2019, for a while there, he was also on Chicago Fire, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But then, remember back in 2000, when they remade Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson? Yeah. Okay, Jackson did play a detective named John Shaft, but he was the nephew. And Richard Roundtree was, of course, the main character. And they tried it again in 2019, and we all know what happened with that. So yeah, he was always in movies. Seven, Brick, Speed Racer, Moving On with Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda. You want to talk about your pioneers. Richard Roundtree was truly one of them. And we will not see his like again for a long, long time. Yeah, Richard Roundtree, dead at the age of 81, I beg your pardon. It helps if I clean my glasses before I read the stories. That's the Deadpool Report. Yep. So yeah, short week. MU City is telling me that I missed one, and I think I know which one you're talking about. Yes. Oh, I did not know. I did not know about this. Wait a minute. We have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we do. News coming into the Deadpool Central as we speak. I am being told, and we're gonna get some people on this. Richard Mall, Bull from the original Night Court, passed away today. We do not have the information on that. We have our field correspondents. No, wait, he died yesterday. We have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We have retroactive breaking news. Richard Mall died yesterday on Thursday. But the news broke today. Okay. So I guess that's okay. We'll get more information on that, and we will totally get more information on that and pass that along to you. And speaking of news, like I said, I was gone. I was gone all last week, and of course came back, on Monday. So, let's see. Did I miss anything? No, I mean, really. Did I miss anything? I'll just put it like this. Can I call it? Or can I call it?
When we lost John, we knew that it was really over.
I was talking to Yoko, and she said, I think I've got a tape of John.
Paul called me up and said he'd like to work on Now and Then. He put the bass on, I put the drums on.
It's the last song that my dad and Paul and George and Ringo will get to make together.
How lucky was I to have those men in my life?
We've been talking about this for, 6 weeks now? 7? In fact, I even made a vlog episode of it. Yeah. This from thebeatles.com. Now and Then. The last Beatles song. And let me clarify that, because obviously the Beatles didn't know how to. This is going to be the last original Beatles song, allegedly, which was written and sung by John Lennon, developed and worked on by Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, and was finished by Paul and Ringo over 4 decades later, will be released worldwide Thursday, November 2nd at 10 a.m. Eastern Time in the States, 9 Central, 7 Pacific. That's 2 p.m. or 1400 GMT for you GMT fans. This is according to thebeatles.com. This was according to Apple Corps. This is according to Capitol Records. This is according to their parent company, United Music Group. United Music. Hits are red hot, babe. So yeah, we'd been talking about this, and everybody's like, "Nah, it's not gonna be Now and Then." They had no. It was totally this. Now the information that we have, is that the song, the single. Not this is the part that really cracks me up. The single is going to be released on a variety of formats. First off, it's going to be, released with, the A side obviously is going to be Now and Then. The B side is going to be a newly mixed and Dolby Atmos version of Love Me Do, with the release featuring the cover art, as you see here, by renowned artist Ed Ruscha. Ed, this is the best you could do. This is the Beatles we're talking about, man. This is the best you could do? Seriously? Anyway. There's also going to be a new video for it that'll debut the next day, Friday, November 3rd, and more details are going to be announced along the lines there. But the part that cracks me up, get ready for this now. The part that cracks me up is it's going to be released in a variety of format. It's going to be on digital download, obviously. It's also going to be on 7-inch vinyl. It's also going to be on 12-inch vinyl. And it's also going to be on, get ready for this, cassette. I'm just gonna let that wash over you for a minute. In 2023, the last Beatles single is going to be released on cassette. Yeah, it's going to be on vinyl. Yeah, it's going to be on CD single. Yeah, it's going to be a digital download. And as you see right here, it's going to be released on cassette. The only thing that is missing from this is that they didn't release it on 8-track or in quad. Just saying. There's also going to be, as you saw from that little snippet that we played in the beginning of this, a 12-minute documentary film, Now and Then the Last Beatles Song, that was written and directed by Oliver Murray. That's going to debut the night before on November 1st on the Beatles YouTube channel at 7:30 GMT. That's 3:30 Eastern for you folks in the States. And it tells the story of the last Beatles song with exclusive footage and commentary from Paul, Ringo, George, Sean Ono Lennon, and Peter Jackson. Kind of wonder why Danny wasn't involved, or Olivia. Possibly because George thought the song was garbage, but they released it anyway. So there you go. We talked about it. We've been discussing it. We made a video about it, and here it is. Now and Then, the last Beatles song will be officially released on Thursday, November 2nd, worldwide. Look for that on all the major streaming services and a record or video store near you. But wait, there's more. And this is the part that really has me upset. Not gonna lie. We'd also been talking about what was going to happen with, and they'd been talking about this for a long, long time. They'd been talking about re-releasing an expanded edition of the Red Album and the Blue Album. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, first off, what cave did you just crawl out of? Secondly, there had been there had been rumors that they were going to put Now and Then on this collection, which, if you've ever seen my vlog, number 198, by the way, if you want to go back and check it out, I mentioned that this would be a bad idea. Because as you see, as it says here, the Beatles 1967 to 1970. Well, not only are they going to change the format of this. For example, instead of 2 discs now, it's going to be 3. They're also mixed in stereo and Dolby Atmos. These are going to be out on November the 10th. The Red and the Blue albums. New 2023 editions, packaged by Apple. And they have expanded the heck out of this thing. And if you ask me, they shot themselves in the foot with this. Now, anybody who knows these albums knows that they're a great companion piece. I'll say that. If you're getting into the Beatles for the first time, they're a great collection to have. If you're a casual listener, they're a great collection to have. I believe, honestly, they have shot themselves in the foot. They have shot themselves in the foot because what they have done is they have expanded these to such a degree that nobody's going to buy the original albums anymore. They've really expanded. For example, some of the, just on the Red album alone, they've added other tracks like I Saw Her Standing There, Roll Over Beethoven, You Really Got a Hold on Me, You Can't Do That, This Boy, If I Needed Someone, for whatever reason, Taxman, Gotta Get You Into My Life, I'm Only Sleeping. They've pretty much taken half of Revolver and put it on there. They've got This Boy on there. So, if you're a fan of the early stuff, yeah, go out and get this and screw the other albums. Same thing with the Blue album. The stuff that they added Within You and Without You, Dear Prudence, they've got half the White album on here. Obla Di Obla Da, Glass Onion, Blackbird, Hey Bulldog. Old Brown Shoe was already on there. Oh, Darling, I Want You, She's So Heavy, I Me Mine. But the thing that really gets me on this, and this to me is where they blew it. No pun intended. They put Now and Then on the Blue album and not the other two singles. And by the other two singles, I'm referring to Free as a Bird and Real Love from the anthology series. As far as I'm concerned, Apple, Beatles, whoever, you blew it. You blew it. This is a cash grab. And everyone sees it. Because you need to push this album. And you need to push this single. I get it. Little sister is saying, it makes sense if they're trying to reach a new generation that don't know who the Beatles are. My grandkids can't name one song on either the Red or Blue album. They know Hey Jude, and that's about it. Well, and like I said, that's fine. That's what I'm talking about. And that's really what these compilations were for originally. It was to introduce the casual viewer, the casual listener, that is to say, to the Beatles. That's what Alan Klein had in mind when he released these albums originally, back in what was it, 71, I think? Chris is saying, put the Red and Blue albums together, market it as something brand new and call it the Purple album. But even I said, just take the Past Masters album and put all three of the anthology singles together on there. Put Real Love and Free as a Bird and Now and Then. The perfect ending. Don't take two great compilations, and these are, I'm not going to lie to you, these are great compilations. And they expanded them and basically, for all intents and purposes, put the rest of the catalog right into the closet. I really do believe that. I think that in about 2 years, the people at Universal Music Group, Universal Music, their songs are red hot, man. Literally. They are going to, they're going to look and they're going to go, gee, I wonder why, the Beatles are the greatest group in the world. Why aren't Why aren't they selling? Tell you why they aren't selling, because you overloaded stuff. But there you have it. There you have it. Yeah. Now and then. November 2nd. Got all the credits here too. And this is the first time, by the way, that Paul McCartney actually gets production credit. Giles Martin helped him with it. But and he stole one from his old man. He actually put a string arrangement on it, from what I understand. Checking the dote board real fast. Amy City saying they can only call it the Purple Album if they put the rendition of While My Guitar Gently Weeps that Prince completely owned. Ooh. It's not a bad idea. Not necessarily a bad idea. And Little Sister says, unless they decide to create new compilations next year of the things not red and not blue. Well, then what are the green and the yellow? I don't know. Who's to say? And of course, you couldn't have. It kind of stands to reason that this news would come to us in the same week that we're hearing that there's going to be a 3-part docuseries about the assassination of John Lennon. You can't make this stuff up. According to Variety, John Lennon, murder without a trial. I'm reading this verbatim. Is on its way. It is in production. And according to a press release, according to Variety, features, quote, exclusive eyewitness interviews and previously unseen crime scene photos shedding new light on the life and murder of music and cultural icon John Lennon and the investigation and conviction of the man whose name we must never mention, his confessed killer. Do we really need this in our lives? Do we really need this? It's being touted as the most thoroughly researched examination of Lennon's 1980 murder. The producers were granted extensive access to the NYPD Board of Parole and District Attorney's offices through the Freedom of Information Acts. In addition to extensive exclusive interviews to those closest to Lennon at the time of his murder, the series takes a close look at the motivations of his killer through conversations with Chapman's defense lawyers, psychiatrists, prosecutors, and detectives. It's being directed by Nick Holt and Rod Coldstream. It's produced for Apple TV, no pun intended, by 72 Films. And, I guess we've got that to look forward to. Checking the tote board after that one. Chris is saying, spoiler alert, they discover he set the whole thing up because he wanted to get away from Yoko for good. Wow. Here we go. Here it comes. Should we start with the Lennon jokes, huh? Should we start with the Lennon jokes? Let's start with the Lennon jokes. What's yellow and sleeps alone? Yoko Ono. Hey, come on now. What would it take to get the Beatles back together? 2 more gunshots. Come on now. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Your little sister is saying, I'm wondering. Oh, God. I wonder if Jody's name is going to come up. Oh, man. Chris said that one blew my mind. No, see, he was shot in the back. What's the last thing to go through John's head when he opened the door? Couple of grams of lead. Okay. Why can't John Lennon write any more songs? He's too busy decomposing. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Oh, I'm cheesing off so many Lennon fans right now. And John was my hero. Okay. Anyway, let's get back into things, shall we? For example, we've got an update on the SAG-AFTRA strike. Apparently, they delivered their response yesterday, according to Variety, to the latest proposal from the major studios. They were supposed to get together again today. I don't have any information on that, but they're trying to avoid another breakdown. And everybody's saying, well, we're making progress. You know, it's slow, but, you know, we're getting there slowly but surely. For example, yesterday, SAG-AFTRA reduced their demand for a first-year increase in minimum rates from 11% to 9%. But the studio's position is at 7%. So I think they may be trying to come to a little bit of a compromise here. Okay, which is fine. So yeah, but they're saying that, you know, nothing was resolved, and they're planning to comment due to the ongoing negotiations, obviously. So yeah. So they're, like I said, they were supposed to get together again today, and there was a story that was sent to me earlier today about an open letter that was signed by about 36 artists, I believe. Not 3,600, but 36 artists. Big names, too. Saying that the union should not... What was the words they were looking for? Don't fall short, is what they're basically saying. You know, don't compromise. So we'll see what's happening with that. Is there union busting going on? Who knows? Who knows? We'll see what happens with that. But there is something that did come up that, you know, well, let's just talk about this. Let's just talk about it. If you don't know, the head of the union for SAG-AFTRA, of course, is none other than the perky and iconic Fran Drescher. Yes, that is true. You're right about that. Fran Drescher, the nanny. Can you imagine having to sit through those talks with that voice? Why they haven't broken down is beyond me. I really do believe that. But you would now, when you've got your life on the line and your livelihood, you really want someone who's a really tough negotiator. You want somebody who can stand on their own 2 feet. You can, you know, somebody who can come to the table, stuff, you know, ready to fight, ready to weave. Somebody who's got their arms wrapped around a gel toy. According to Variety, Fran Drescher has been coming to the table for weeks armed with this heart-shaped stuffed animal that serves as either an emotional support tool or a bargaining tactic, depending upon who you ask. And apparently this has been quite a hot topic around Hollywood, as you can pretty well imagine why. One person told Variety that she'd been carrying around a Furby. Yes, a Furby. That Furby. Even planting it in front of the studio heads of the negotiating table and saying, quote, "My Furby is watching you." End quote. This is the person that is negotiating for all of SAG-AFTRA. This is the woman in charge right now of trying to resolve the problems with the actors union. She's got a stuffed toy with her. According to several other sources, the story goes on, Fran's special guest was a heart-shaped plush with dangling feet that apparently was manufactured by Jellycat, a niche toy brand that caters to toddlers. A representative from Fran did not return anybody's call. Gee, I wonder why. But they have been told that they're holding a picketing event. They were supposed to hold a picketing event at Amazon Studios today themed as Plushie Day in solidarity with Fran. Bring your heart-shaped plushies and stand with Fran. Yes, indeed. Oh, man. You just wonder, you know, I got nothing. I read this and I went, come on, this cannot be true. This just cannot be true. Here's Fran Drescher walking in. All right, boys, look at my Furby. If that's not a reason to start drinking right there, I don't know what is. Okay? I'm just saying. Then again, like I said, you know, that voice, yeah. If that doesn't send you screaming out of the room going, whatever you want. Checking the tote board real fast. Chris says she does exaggerate the voice for TV. Well, of course she does. It's a character. We all know that. Amy City said, you know, anytime I hear about Fran Drescher, I just remember her as a lady of ill repute from Dr. Detroit. Which in itself is kind of a fun thing. Not as bad as her TV persona, unless she's really excited. Little sister wants to know Jack Nicholson screaming at Tom Cruise scenario. And, oh, no, I can't. Come on, MC. Furby not being a nickname for any part of her anatomy, okay? I'm just saying. In the meantime, we do have, in case anybody cares, one of the things that's also coming up next week, hot on the heels of the new Beatles single, is also the ceremony for the induction for the class of 24 of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, there's a couple of things going on here that people need to know. And that is, the fact that if you want to watch it this year, it's not going to be on HBO as it has been in years past. It's actually going to be on Disney Plus. It's being broadcast live from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And the first round of presenters and performers have been released. They did that a couple of weeks ago, but today they announced special guests along the lines of Stevie Nicks, Adam Levine, Carrie Underwood, Common, Ice-T, LL Cool J, Miguel, Queen Latifah, and Sia. And they're going to be joining people like Elton John, Brandi Carlile, Chris Stapleton, Dave Matthews, Her, New Edition, St. Vincent, and others. Many of the inductees we've understood are going to be in attendance. And a few of them, most notably Willie Nelson, Sheryl Crow, and Missy Elliott, say that they will perform at the ceremony. But there's no word on whether people like Kate Bush or Rage Against the Machine will be performing. Boy, wouldn't that be fun to see Kate Bush do an improv with Tom Morello? Oh, scary kids. So we've got that going. And that's going to be Again, it's going to be Friday, November 3rd. So if you're a Disney Plus subscriber, guess what? You're going to be able to check it out. And it may even be fun now that Jan Wenner's gone. It may actually be, dare I say it, legitimate. Just throwing it out there. It can happen. And speaking of legitimate, you know, little sister is in the chat right now. You can see her name. And she recently, if you're a regular viewer to this little slop fest, know that she recently relocated to Florida. The FLA, as the teenagers call it. And there's other people that are there, obviously. Some people I like, some not so much. Others, yeah. And for a while, we have been hearing about this bizarre culture that has been evolving in Florida. But then came this story that I found that actually just kind of fell in my lap. Pardon me. That came out of The Guardian. Of all publications, this came out of a British publication about an event in Florida. This is how bizarre it's gotten down there. Amu City saying, just tell her to stay away from Hialeah lest she run into Mr. Blue. Oh, man. Wow. Whew. One of these days, I have to retell that story. And I'm going to need you guys to help me out with that. Yeah, Mr. Blue needs your assistance. Oh, God. But anyway, well, Mr. Blue might even be a part of this. Because apparently, a group of Floridians are planning to host competitions according to the collective annex of, yes, wait for it, those, quote, beer-loving, gator-possessing, rap sheet-heavy, mullet-wearing social media phenomenon known as Florida Man. Yes, the Florida Man Games are coming to St. Augustine. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. Organizers of the Florida Man Games described the competition as, quote, the most insane athletic showdowns on earth. The games are going to poke fun, as if they really need any help, at Florida's reputation for producing strange news stories involving guns, drugs, booze, and reptiles, or any combination thereof. Among the contests, and this is planned for next February right away, and there is a website, Florida Man Games. Look it up. I'm not joking about this. And this is an established British publication that's telling us about this. Among the contests, according to the organizers, are, and these are pictures taken from the website, by the way. There's the evading arrest obstacle course, in which contestants will jump over fences and through yards while being chased by real police officers. Let me repeat that sentence because it's vaguely important we all understand the mentality that we're dealing with here. The evading arrest obstacle course will be part of the Florida Man Games in February in St. Augustine, in which contestants will jump over fences and through yards while being chased by real law enforcement. Number one, how hard was it to get people who were not experienced in this in Florida? And number two, are the cops on duty? Are they off duty? I'm just asking. This is just out of complete curiosity, if nothing else. Then, of course, if that's not enough for you, and indeed, how could it be? There's always the Category 5 cash grab, in which participants will try to grab as much money as they can in a wind-blowing booth, which is always fun. And of course, what would any kind of redneck Florida festival be without the oft-heralded and self-explanatory beer belly sumo wrestling? The game's website said, and this is a quote, "This isn't just a competition, it's a one-of-a-kind Floridian spectacle." Chris wants to know, they get donuts to drop. Oh, man. They get donuts to drop to distract their pursuers. I don't know. Probably just a $20 bill, one of the two. Oh, of course, there's also the mullet contest, best mullet contest. This apparently Amy City asking, what about the bath salt face eating competition? That may be night 2. I don't know. I haven't gotten all the information on this. Just what I've been shown so far. You can always go to their website and find out more about this, as well as picking up tickets. Yes, there are tickets for sale for such an occasion. The Florida Man concept, according to The Guardian, crept into the nation's consciousness a decade ago with some Twitter account called Florida Man. Real life stories from the world's worst superhero. And has been home to such headlines as Florida Man firebombs garage that impounded his car, hits his own vehicle, and Florida Man tried to pay for McDonald's with weed. Now, you may be asking yourself right about now, hey, Gainer, how much would tickets for the Florida Man Games be? Well, general admission tickets are going for $45. And as for the and I know I can feel it. Chris is looking forward to the beer belly sumo wrestling. I understand that. Now, you may be asking yourself at the same time, who in the name of F. Scott Fitzgerald would be crazy enough to judge something like that? Who could referee that? And who better than, you know them, you love them, Nitro and Ice from the American Gladiators. You know you have reached the nadir of your career. It's bad enough. And you can tell in the picture right there, obviously they're not doing the cream anymore. You know, they're not doing the juice. So they've got to be doing something. And they're getting paid for it. So what the heck? Abbey City's saying they have a weaponizer pool noodle. Yes, they do. It is true what you are telling me. They actually have a pool noodle mud duel as part of the games. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, man. A St. Augustine resident is behind these games. His name is Peter Melfi, who is the owner of the 904 Now, which is a media outlet covering St. Johns County. The Guardian actually interviewed him for some insane reason. And according to them, he said, quote, "We thought, how can we really play on these Florida Man headlines that we hear so much about? So someone gave me the idea to make it into an athletic competition." So he told the Orlando Sentinel, "It's going to be a wild day of mud games and Florida-style obstacle courses. And you get to live that Florida man life for a day." Yeah, you want to talk about your life dreams. You want to talk about your bucket list occurrences. This is where you want to be, friends. This is where you. Amy City saying it's presented by Ripley's, believe it or not. Yeah. You know, first off, I've never heard of this Florida man. I've never heard of this. But yeah, little sister is hopefully still watching the show, and well, there you go. St. Augustine, February, Florida Man Games. Be there. Live the Florida Man life. Oh, God. 45. Okay, let's think about this for a minute, all right? I want you to tell me just how distorted your life is if you're going to spend $45 to watch this. I want you to think about this for a minute. Oh, man. And especially when they're being... I can't. I just can't. They're being refereed by Nitro and Ice. Does anybody even remember Nitro and Ice? Does anybody remember American Gladiators at all? You know, it was some show. It was like... MU City is saying they also have chicken coop bingo. I was going to bring that up, but I wasn't really I wasn't sure about that one. I wasn't sure if that was for real or not. I mean, is any of this real for that matter? The numbers are chosen by where the chickens poop. Yeah, it's true. As a friend of mine used to say, only in America, land of opportunity. Anyway, I remember American Gladiators. Don't remember those two. Yeah, they were like the two main characters. You know, they were the two main bad guys. Order now and get a free glass pipe. And there will be agents outside of the venue that can help you fill it. Yeah. Listen, it's just about time to get out of here. Do me a favor, head over to Hugs 24/7 Radio, hugs at WRGG.com, because Cyrus Gray is going to have the top 10 countdown, the top 10 unsigned independent artists from around the world. That's going to be followed by Violet Ray and the Shockwave. That's coming up right after this. 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. Please, by all means, make sure that you watch that, okay? Would really appreciate it. It's time for this Gainer to get up and go. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody who helped to make this show possible. That chat is about you. Can't do the show without you, and I really do appreciate it. Until then, thank you so much for watching. We're almost on the drive for 500 subscribers, because I get bored really easy. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Like, subscribe to all that YouTube stuff. In other words, if you like it, hey, you know what to do. We'll see you next week. We out. Bye.